All right, guys, it has been a long time since I've done anything with the channel, whether it's a video or a vlog or anything. The last thing you probably saw was the last thing that you saw was um, the Pine ADV trailer, the teaser video for my big trip. And, well, what had happened was my bike, I don't know if you can tell, is currently out of order, which is really bad. I'm leaking oil out of my stator side of the bike right next to the starter, and it's got a bad knock. But anyways, the day that you're watching this, the day that I'm recording this, I'm actually going to be pulling the motor out of this. So I'm going to pull everything off. Got to pull the motor off. I have all the seals, I have all the tools, I have the bearings. I just need to make sure and double check if I need to replace my crank or wrist pin or something. I don't know, something in there. So I don't know when you guys are going to see that or when you guys are going to see the completed Pine ADV thing with the trip, but that's kind of what I have planned. Is I'm going to ride this today, although it has all that crap going wrong with it, but I need to get as much gas out of that tank, and I need to heat that oil up so I can dump it out. But anyways, let's get going. As you guys can tell, I do have a different camera set up today, which is kind of neat. I don't know if you guys are going to like it or not. It's just kind of one of those things. But as you can tell, I haven't ridden my bike since the trip. It's got a bunch of spider webs all over it. Literally all over it. It is sad. But I'm going to wash it and everything like that, so that way all the parts that I take off are somewhat clean. But anyways, let's get going. Alright, for those of you who haven't been following along with the channel, because it's been freaking months, the reason why I stopped riding this bike and the reason why I had to cut my trip, or not the reason why I had to cut my trip short, but the last thing I did was I went on a huge 1,500 mile trip from Southern California all the way up to Utah and back. So I hit Arizona, Nevada, Utah, and then just kind of went all over the place. However, the last day I was in a huge hurry to get back home, and of course when you're in a hurry, things are gonna go bad, and that's totally what happened to me. It was like 100, and the hottest it got during that trip back was 118 degrees. So yes, I was riding in 118 degree weather. If I had to say, it was an average temperature that day of riding of about 105. So my bike was fully loaded, everything on it, everything that I needed during the trip, camera gear, camping gear, clothing, all of this stuff, food, water, gas, everything. It was a fully loaded bike. But anyways, fully loaded bike, hot day, and I was riding for about 12 hours. And about 6 hours in, I started to hear a knock. And it was a knock that I wasn't really kind of used to hearing, but I was like, oh, my bike has knocked before when it's hot, no big deal, it'll kind of fix itself as it always does. But no, it just kept getting worse. And that's kind of the state that I left my bike. I changed my oil in an AutoZone parking lot out in, I think it was Barstow, California, and it was quite an experience. It was actually probably pretty terrible, but it didn't fix the problem, which is usually what happens when I have a knock. Usually an oil change will fix the problem, and I am all the better for it. However, this oil change didn't fix the problem, and it's pretty much been at the same knocking level the entire time. So I got it home, I parked it in my driveway, took all my camping stuff off, and that was it. I kind of left it for a month. I did a little bit of soul searching, and I worked on some other projects here and there, and I got a new job, which is great for me, because as most of you guys know, I was unemployed for a couple of months, and I was in a bad spot because of it. But things got better. A job happened to fall into my lap, and really the job pretty much consumes every hour of energy that I have during the day. And what I do is I'm an HVAC technician in training right now, so it is a fantastic job. It's a blue collar job, but there are plenty of opportunities in the HVAC field, and there's a high demand for HVAC technicians. So I'm currently being trained to do that right now, and I work about 60 hours a week, which is about 60 hours more per week than I was working previously, and it's been awesome. It's been awesome because I work a lot and I save a lot of money, and all that money that I've saved I put back into buying parts and tools for this bike or for the project in general. So whether it's new camera equipment or, just freaking stuff, I don't know, stuff for Pine ADV, it's all gonna roll back into the project because I'm so tired during the week I don't have time to do anything else. So the great news is I do have a weekend, and they are pretty flexible when it comes to hours. So things are looking up for me. But anyways, I am in a lot better spot than I was this time 2 months ago or this time last month. I have a job, things are going steady, and I have a goal in mind. And my goal for today for me, not today for you guys, is I'm going to run an errand, and then immediately after I'm going to dump the oil out of this bike, because when you pull the motor you have to dump the oil. So I'm going to dump the oil, wash the bike just so it's clean and I have clean parts stacked all up, and then I'm going to pull the motor tonight. I've never pulled a motor out of a motorcycle before, and I've never taken apart a motorcycle engine. However, I do have my factory service manual. I do have kind of an okay head on my shoulders, and if I do get stumped, I'm sure I'll ask one of you guys and you'll be able to help me out. But things are looking up for me as a human being on planet Earth. It's going good. I have a lot of big opportunities ahead of myself. But the bike is not doing too hot. That's kind of all I got to say about that, is the bike isn't doing too hot. It's tough for me to say that just because I love this thing so much, but here's what's going to happen. I'm going to pull the motor out, I'm going to crack it open, and I'm going to say, okay, is it the bearings? Are the bearings bad? Is there slop in the bearings? Or is there slop in, in the crankshaft, where the crankshaft meets the conrod? Or what's going on? And if it's too bad, I'm not even going to slap the thing back together. What I'm going to do is I'm going to try to find a used XT250 motor with not a lot of miles on it, and I'm going to hopefully buy that. So I know a guy on the XT250 Riders forum on Facebook, and he recently got into an accident. Carlos, if you're watching this, I hope you're doing better, man. But he parted out his motorcycle, so hopefully, if things are still going good in terms of money and finances and everything like that, I can go ahead and buy his motor. I really hope I can, but I really hope I don't have to, because that's a kind of a big expense, and I don't really want to have too many big expenses, because I like what I'm doing financially in terms of paying off my debt and managing my finances and getting some money into savings, which is great. But I do want to have a working motorcycle. So worst case scenario is I use whatever money I was going to throw into a new bike, or spoil it. Worst case scenario, I'm going to use whatever money I was going to throw into a new used motor, and I'm going to put it into a down payment onto a new bike. I know that's not what a lot of you guys want to hear, but I figured out what I want to do in terms of motorcycles, and I want to go the distance. So the XT250 is great. It's got a low seat height. It's got, a lot of great things going for it. It's forgiving. It's pretty much bulletproof unless you run it in 118 degree heat for, too many hours. But the bike that I want to get is the WR250R. I know a lot of you guys are gonna say, "Hey, you should get the CRF, or you should get the new 450 CRFL." CRF. I can't remember who. It's by Honda. It's the new CRF 450 dual sport. God, this thing is knocking like crazy. CRF 450. But I've heard a lot of good and bad things about it, but I'm just not going to do that. The WR250 is bulletproof, just like this bike. It's lightweight. It's small. Where is it? When am I not? Why? I never get green lights, dude. I swear. Freaking California, man. The WR250, but that's like my absolute worst case scenario, because one, I don't want to have another payment. I already have enough bills to pay. I don't want to add another bike payment on top of it. However, I don't want to throw money into this bike if I can help it. You know what I mean? The less money I can spend, the better, because that means I get to spend more money on trips. I get to spend more money on just my life. I get to spend more time out in the outdoors. Hello, Mr. Policeman. And I get to do a lot more things. But it would be nice to have another bike. I'm just gonna leave it at that. But yeah, guys, for those of you who have checked up on me on Facebook and said, "Hey, dude, are you alive?" or on Instagram and said, "Hey, dude, are you okay?" I appreciate that. Thank you so much. I have just been changing the status of my life. I guess that's one way to put it. My life has been changing a lot. So we'll just keep it at that. And things are going good. I'm a lot happier. And for those of you who really support the channel, you guys know that I have my ups and downs, just like everybody else. But when I have my down, when things are going down for me, I just stop posting videos. And a lot of you guys support me in that. You guys say, "Hey, focus on your life. YouTube is just a hobby." And yeah, you're 100% right. YouTube is just a hobby. But I want to make it more than that. I want to make it a lifestyle choice, to make videos, to be a positive person, and to share that positivity with you guys. Just because this world needs more light in it. And I hopefully want to bring some light into your lives, just like you guys bring light into my life. But anyways, guys, I think that pretty much covers it. If I think of anything else, I will add it into, I'll add it somewhere. But I don't think I will. So I just wanted to say thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys have a great day. And until next time, peace out. Holy cow, it's been a long time since I've said that. Feels good, man. Feels good.